Na mpendwa mtazamaji, karibu katika Pendo Wikendi. Msomaji wako nikiwa mimi Dennis Liosi. Kumbuka ni taarifa ambazo zimegonga vichwa vya habari leo hii. Kumbuka taarifa hizi, tumeandaa taarifa kutoka kote nchini, zikiwemo taarifa za humu magharibi mwa Kenya na vile vile taarifa toka pande zote humu nchini. Kumbuka taarifa hizi mpendwa mtazamaji unaweza kuwa ukizipata kupitia mtandao wetu wa YouTube @Pendo TV. Karibu. Naam, katibu katika Wizara ya Elimu Bi Beatrice Nyangala amepongeza mfumo wa elimu ya ugavi wa mikopo ya ufadhili wa masomo wa vyuo vikuu HELB. Nyangala anasema hatua hii itapiga jeki elimu nchini. Mfumo huu unapania kuwafadhili zaidi au kuwanufaisha zaidi wanafunzi wanaotoka katika familia zisizojiweza.
The introduction of the new funding model has come at the right time, and we are at the university are truly grateful to the government for unveiling the new model. It will greatly help in solving the financial crisis that have plagued the public university model. Universities will benefit from regular and reliable income streams, enabling them to offer high quality education. In addition, the new funding model will 1. Promote equity, access and inclusivity, whereby financing will be based on the assessed level of need. 2. Increase cash flow to universities, which will in turn enhance the quality of education offered by our universities. The model will transform lives, empower families, and nurture a new generation of well-educated Kenyan workforce that will lead to our great nation, that will lead our great nation to the next level of development. It is therefore incumbent upon us all to embrace this positive change and work collectively to ensure it succeeds. Today, we are holding a physical graduation after a 3-year break. We almost forgot how graduation ceremonies feel. We are happy now that we can celebrate together once again. The class of 2023 is a class with memories of what it is like to be students in the midst of a global pandemic. In 2019, the students graduating today were in the middle of their first year when COVID-19 pandemic hit. In today's graduation ceremony, 1,601 graduates will receive various certificates, diplomas, bachelor's and postgraduate degrees. We shall also be graduating our very first cohort on Bachelor of Laws graduates during this ceremony.
This new funding model is the best thing that has happened since our education system was established. Because with this model, our most vulnerable, our extremely needy children will walk to the universities just like they have done, without being fully supported by the government. Can we get a clap as a government for that? Education is an equalizer, and I promise you, in a few years to come, we shall have lifted through this education funding model those at the bottom of the ladder. They will be competing favorably with all of us for the positions that you all look towards. As the Ministry of Education, we firmly believe that knowledge is a public good that requires heavy investment and promotion. That is why the government allocates substantial resources to the education sector to enhance the dissemination of knowledge and growth and development. And this year, the ministry has dedicated The government has dedicated a whopping 630 billion to the Ministry of Education. And that speaks volumes for the length we are willing to go as a government to improve your prospects through education.
Wanachama wa ANC kaunti ya Trans Nzoia wamemkashifu katibu mkuu wa ANC Cleophas Malala kwa kupuuzilia mbali mchango wa vyama tanzu wa muungano wa Kenya Kwanza. Wanasema maneno ya Malala haifai kabisa na kutaja umuhimu mkubwa wa vyama tanzu vya Kenya Kwanza ambayo ni Ford Kenya na ANC katika ushindi wa Rais William Ruto katika uchaguzi mkuu uliopita.
Lakini sisi kama wenye tuko imara ndani ya chama cha ANC tuko imara, na ANC ndio imeunda serikali. Hata slogan ya Kenya Kwanza ilikuwa slogan ya ANC. Sisi ndio tulianza Kenya Kwanza tukisema kwamba ANC Kenya Kwanza, Kenya Kwanza, pesa mfukoni. Sasa yeye anatokea wapi?
Chama kingine, na yeye ni memba wetu wa serikali yetu ya Kenya Kwanza. Nyumba ni moja. Alafu sasa unakosa hekima, unasema hivi vyama vingine ni village parties. How can it be a village party? Alafu imeproduce a very senior government officer, prime cabinet secretary, prime minister in short. How can it be a village party? Haiwezi kuwa inatoa mtu mkubwa kama huyo, alafu wewe unasimama bila heshima na unasema kwamba tutafungilia vyama mbali.
Serikali hii ya Kenya Kwanza ilitengenezwa kwa sababu ya ANC kuungana na UDA. Na hiyo heshima ikue na kila mtu achunge mpaka wake. Sio kwamba umetembea hapo umeitwa kidogo na ile keki kidogo umekula unaanza kusema kudarau mahali penye umetokea. Najua Cleophas Malala wewe unaelewa vizuri sana Musalia Mudavadi.
Na tukisonga hadi eneo la Nyanza ni kwamba hii leo wakazi wamefanya sherehe ya kumkumbuka Dr. Crispin Odhiambo aliyekufa miaka 20. Dr. Crispin Odhiambo anafahamika kuwa mmoja waliochangia pakubwa katika ukarabati wa katiba unaotumika kwa sasa wa mwaka 2010. Baadhi waliotambua mchango wake walisifia matunda yanayotokana na uchaguzi na kutaka baadhi ya rasilimali kuu za serikali kutajwa baada ya jina lake.
The journey has not been easy because I was left with very young children and I had to work extra hard to educate my children. And for me, what I can say is that Daktari went to Bomas to fight for changes in this country. And for him, what he wanted to see that the lives of Kenyans was going to change by power being devolved. There are a few things that have been achieved, but not most of them.
Today marks 20 years since the death of one major, gallant son of the Luo nation, Dr. Crispin Odhiambo. Now, because of his expertise, we today can boast of devolved units. We have 47 devolved units in this country, of course, and one central government. What we can say is that out of his sacrifice, we now have roads in places where we didn't think we would have roads. Out of his sacrifice, we have facilities, health facilities in areas we never dreamt that we'll have those facilities. Because of his sacrifice, we now can have water, clean potable water, as a function of the devolved units in areas where clean water was unheard of. Because of his sacrifice, many amenities, including sports facilities, have been developed by counties. A lot of money has been invested in agriculture. A lot of money has been invested in tourism. All those are functions.
The third consecutive election where we were the governors, and we can say that his vision were prime, his visions were clear, and devolution is actually a game changer in our country's development. As we try to agitate for more funding to devolve units, we want to say that it was a brilliant idea that Dr. Crispin fought for. We will not forget to state that Dr. Crispin went into record as the many Kenyans who have been assassinated in this country, and we'll wish that the state celebrates these heroes as they bring to justice those who could have perpetrated these heinous crimes. It will be unfair to say we celebrate his achievements, but we go silent on the cause of his death. He died for this nation, he died working for this nation, and we expect...
The one who brought this devolution to the whole nation, Kenya. So I suppose even the leadership of the country should really look at this thing in a better way, so that at least we put it something that the whole country can also remember. Now, in regards to this celebration today, I want to say that I suppose he is also very happy wherever he is, seeing things that he really fought for coming out the way they've really come out. But we are still looking for better opportunities. We are looking for better things on this, so that at least we can improve on his efforts and his thoughts wherever he did this.
It was purely for education, mind change, which is still evident, which still can be seen, which still can be felt. We even have Dr. Mbai today, a school in his remembrance, a school in his name. That has changed that particular area that the school is. And could it be that the late Dr. Mbai was here today? This area would have been maybe a small city in a village. Roads, electricity, then educating people. So people with education, with that electricity, with that roads, I think it would be fine. We would be having a small Europe in Eastward. Yes.
We people living today, we are mourning Mbai, and Mbai will ever live to our living memory because of his performance. Back to devolution, we could have gone very much far. And in fact, as my friend John Adero has said, this road Wimbo Roma Bay could have been tarmacked by now. It could have been tarmacked even by now, kabisa.
Waziri wa masuala ya ndani mwa nchi Kindiki Kithure ameshuhudia hafla ya kusaini ripoti ya kusaini wajibikaji ya wafanyikazi wakuu wa serikali wanaofanya kazi ndani mwa nchi. Ni hafla iliyofanyika katika jumba kuu la Harambee. Kindiki anasema kuwa shughuli hii ni ya muhimu na ni njia moja ya kuhakikisha malengo yote ya serikali yanaafikiwa.
Is dependent on your success in your area. What we will call the success of the ministry is the collective successes of every agency, every department that is represented here. Responsibility is to ensure that the pressure that is being exerted on you to perform, you exert it downwards to those that are working under you. If you can exert even greater pressure, it makes the chances of your success feasible.
Baadhi ya viongozi wa chama cha UDA eneo la magharibi mwa Kenya wamewaonya baadhi ya viongozi wanaojiunga na chama cha UDA kujidai kuwa vigogo wa chama cha UDA. Aswa wakati huu chama hiki kinapojiandaa kufanya uchaguzi wa viongozi wao. Wakiongozwa na seneta wa Kakamega Boni Khalwale anasema ni sharti viongozi hawa wajiuzulu toka kwenye vyama vyao kabla ya kujiunga na UDA.
Hama kutoka chama chako ambayo kiko katika Kenya Kwanza na unajiunga na UDA. Ikiwa chama chako kimefold, if the party has been dissolved, the party that you are coming from, ujiunga na sisi, tutakuamini 100% because where you came from, the house is gone. But where you are coming from, if for Kenya, ANC, DP, PA have not dissolved, Members of PA for Kenya, ANC, when you come, you are welcome, but you will have to excuse us. You can't come from those parties and they are still in existence. Na uwe kiongozi yetu.
Kaunti ya Homa Bay ni hivi karibuni kubuni mikakati ya kukabiliana na mvua ya El Nino. Akizungumza katika hafla ya uzinduzi ya mikakati hiyo, Gavana Gladys Wanga amesema amebuni jopo litakalohakikisha wamejiandaa kabla, wakati na baada ya mvua hiyo ya El Nino.
And our fees, I pray that you bless the county community to welcome you all to this actual event.
So let's clap, please. And the plan is now officially unveiled. Honorable Speaker,
every sector has spoken here, and they have spoken about what they are doing to handle the response within their sectors. Because if you look at the strategy that we are launching today, or the plan that we are launching today, it's a sector-based plan. So we are taking a multi-sectoral and multi-agency approach. So each sector has outlined what they're doing in the immediate, what they're doing pre the flooding, what they're doing during the flooding, and what they're doing post the El Nino, and so in every area. So it's a very detailed plan that we have. Importantly also is a communication plan that has been put together by our communication teams to ensure that the publics and our people are constantly appraised or updated on what is happening right now, before the El Nino, during the El Nino, and after the El Nino. And I think the communication people also spoke to their plans here. That's very, very important, because we can't have a response without the people knowing what we are doing and what's happening. And then there's a whole plan around resource mobilization. And this is important because, as has been said, this is one of the effects of climate change. And when we were at the Africa Climate Summit last week, the other week or last week, it was discussed as to just how much climate change is disrupting governments. Because right now we have our ADP, we have our CIDP, and we have our ADP. It is costed. We have a budget. It does not include some of the things that are going to emerge out of this El Nino process. Again, what was discussed in a big way is that some of the biggest emitters, of carbon that is escalating climate change are not really us here in Africa. It is the West and other places. But the biggest sufferers of the effects are sitting here today. It is our people here in Homa Bay and in other parts of Kenya and Africa. And because of this disruption, surely no budget, no government can sustain this response on their own. And that is why we must have a robust resource mobilization plan, so that we reach out to our partners, to as many people as possible to help us during this season, so that even after the El Nino, we don't come out and all we can do within the financial year is only to respond to the effects of El Nino and not do any other programs within our ADP for this financial year. So resource mobilization is a very strong aspect within that. Will be led by our CC for Health, Roslyn Omolo, and a team that has been put together, working of course under the bigger committee that is led by the governance and the disaster teams. While we are handling this response, we must know that we have vulnerable groups that are disproportionately affected by this El Nino rain. When you think about children, you think about the elderly, you think about people living with disability, you think about women, you think about young people, you think about our fisherfolk who will be out there and not really being able to come back much. So the plan also integrates these vulnerable groups, and the planning is done together with them. Then there is the whole monitoring and evaluation of our interventions and the impact of our interventions. So we want to ensure that the affected population are supported and that we lay down proper recovery measures post-El Nino. Of course, this involves building climate resilience and ensuring climate adaptation within our communities. So the success of this plan rests upon the collective efforts of all of us. I implore the residents of Homa Bay County to remain vigilant and well informed about the weather conditions. It is imperative that you adhere to the instructions and warnings issued by the relevant authorities to ensure your safety. I wish to underscore the significance of community preparedness in this response. We must come together and identify vulnerable areas, taking the necessary steps to safeguard our homes and property. This involves the clearing of drainage systems, which we are going to start doing right now at Sokomjinga, reinforcing infrastructure, especially within our informal settlements, and Danish and his team, together with Ogola, who are working together to prepare plans and designs for infrastructure that we intend to put up around our informal settlements to ensure that they are well prepared before the rains begin, and having readily available emergency kits. I want to assure you of our unwavering commitment to mitigating the impact of El Nino, and in times of crisis, we must unite and strive to be
Na mpendo wa mtazamaji, kufikia hapo sina la ziada. Shukran sufufu kwa wote waliofanikisha taarifa hizi. Imekuwa ni Shajara ya Pendo Wikendi. Hadi siku nyingine, jina langu ni Dennis Liosi. Kuwa na usiku mwema.
Jungle.